Hey guys, and welcome back to Plasmatic Productions. As you can tell, we've got a little bit of something different going on today. I'm in my brother's old bedroom, and we're going to be sealing up some comic books today. We've got a whole box to get through right here, and then we've got 10 more boxes, which I won't do today. So let's just go and get started. This is kind of just, I originally intended to maybe do this ASMR style, but I really have no, I don't feel like it. You can use this as that if it ends up working out like it, but I feel like these ripping sounds aren't going to be the best for relaxation. Yeah. So I've done a decent bit already this morning. We're doing The Amazing Spider-Man. The reason we have, I believe a tally of over 2,000 comic books from the 1960s and 1970s is that my dad, when he was growing up in Pittsburgh, he was a really big fan of comics and superheroes and the like. We didn't have TV shows back then or movies about the superheroes. So he would go down to the corner store, not even a comic shop or anything, just the corner store, where there would be a little newsstand with a good amount of different comics from the week that he could buy. He would go there with, depending on how expensive comics were, so like at first it would be like 50 cents and he could get 3 or 4 comics because they used to be 10 cents, 15 cents. But then as we get to later points in time, see now we're all the way to Amazing Spider-Man 173, they're 30 cents. Although, compared to today, that's still really cheap because a comic book like this is, at your comic store, any new comic is going to be like $4, $5, something ludicrous like that. Back then, 30 cents. Whoa, they're increasing the prices. This is the Molten Man. In that Spider-Man Far From Home movie, they turned Molten Man and Hydro Man into just sort of fake illusions created by Mysterio. But they were actual characters in the comics. Here we go. Number 174, we have the Punisher, the Finisher. Oh, no, that's just finished. That's the Hitman. The Hitman. The Hitman's back in town, and New York may never be the same. That's what it says. I should probably do like an actual series of videos going through this whole collection once it's completed. Once I've completed cataloging it and wrapping them. 175. 35 cents now. They must have just gotten the inflation increase. These things get stuck to your hands. Still going with that Punisher and the Hitman story in these issues. Although I really feel just by looking at these covers that they start to run out of ideas. I mean, somehow they're still going now, but here we go. 176. Because when you think about it, I mean, if one comic issue is akin to an episode of a television show. Can you imagine 176 episodes? I mean, sure, some shows, Sesame Street, The Simpsons, maybe even Friends reached its 176th episode, but it's in the vast world of television. I mean, it's not very common. Next, sorry, these are all getting really jammed together. I'm gonna probably reorganize this eventually so that there's more room to flip through. I have 177 where Green Goblin has returned. So at this point in time, Gwen Stacy was already killed by Norman Osborn when he was the Green Goblin. And then a number of issues later, his son Harry Osborn, Peter Parker's best friend, became the Green Goblin himself. Peter Parker's life always manages to find new ways to suck. Now here we are at 178. He seems to still be fighting the Green Goblin, but Aunt May is dying and MJ is trying to take care of her. Let's see. Close these up. We're making progress. Each one of these boxes holds, I think, about 100 comics or more. So, 150. Wow, 179. We're still fighting the Green Goblin. This must have been a real epic. A real epic. Let's take a look at what we've got next. Also, I really gotta say, this is a great change of pace from those Lego Batman videos I've been making lately. I really enjoy doing it, but sometimes it's nice. Oh, there seems to be some sort of goblin switcheroo here at 180. 2 Green Goblins. They liked to do this a lot on the covers. Say, oh no, there's 2 of somebody. Which one's the real one? And read inside to find out. On the front of this it says, "This is it, the climax of the most sensational Spidey saga of all." Yeah, right. Don't get me wrong, these comics from this time are all very, very good. But it's funny to watch their marketing sometimes. Here we go, 181. Got a lot of big faces here. We've got the Lizard, Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, and I think that's supposed to be the Kingpin. Yeah. Kingpin. The thing about this issue, though, is that there's, other than just those big faces, there doesn't seem to be many marketing tactics on it. So I wonder how popular it actually ended up being. There we go. 181. I don't think we have 182, so we skip now to, oh my god, 183. Rocket Racer, you may have defeated Spider-Man, but even you cannot stop the Big Wheel. I'm tempted to read this to find out what the heck this is. The Big Wheel. I don't have the energy to make jokes today. I'm still not feeling very well, but I mean, come on, the Big Wheel. I guess it's a joke in and of itself. It's a guy inside a big wheel, and he thinks that's scary. This should be the plot of the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 186. Spider-Man is a national hero, and the Chameleon is coming in. The Chameleon, I'm pretty sure, was actually Spider-Man's first supervillain. Or, yeah, villain with any sort of, wacky name or superpowers. This stuff keeps getting stuck to my hands. And the Chameleon's ability was he was just sort of a normal looking gangster, except he has like no face, and he can transform into anybody, which makes for a number of shenanigans, as I'm sure you can assume. Now, look at this. Spider-Man's going against Captain America, and Electro's silhouette is in the background. They liked doing this a lot. Having another superhero fighting the main one on the cover to get people to buy it, because, people like seeing who would win between their favorite superheroes. I guess that's why they made that Batman versus Superman movie, because someone thought that'd be a good idea. Huh. Alright. Yeah, we skip all the way to 194, featuring a startling new villainess, the Black Cat. She becomes very important in later times, and you may have heard of her as one of Spider-Man's love interests, or because you've played the Spider-Man PS4 game. But anyway, this is the debut of the Black Cat. Okay. Now, you may be wondering, again, why I'm doing all of this. And sort of what the history is why are these things already partially wrapped when I'm bringing them up? And so, kind of the story here is that we used to keep them all on those shelves. Or we had a different shelf here, and the comics were just out in the open. There's just the actual paper. And so, what we wanted to do when we wanted to find one was, they were kind of sorted for the most part, in order and by character. But finally, even though, to be honest, I don't read them very much anymore, neither do my parents, but we decided to at least organize these to make them look more interesting, or better on the shelf. So we got these bins, and we bought these covers. But we felt that it would be, so much of a hassle to take all these off, and then, then seal them up. So we decided to just leave them like this, open. The problem is, it becomes very difficult to actually then sift through your box to find the one that you want. So, that's why we are going back and doing this. So here we go. Now, I think, yes, this was number 222. This was the last official, Amazing Spider-Man we have before we get into the specials. So let's just call it here. This is nice and short. We did a number of these. Yeah. Have a good one. Let me know what you guys thought of this kind of thing. I can talk more about each of these or whatever. Just let me know. Alright? Have a good one, guys. I'll see you.